Hello, thank you for joining me. My name is Elias Munshya, and I am coming to you from Calgary, Alberta, from our law firm here at Munshya Law, but also which doubles as the TV media studio, TV Bakwetu. So thank you so much for joining us. I know that it should be around 21, 23 in Chiwempala because we are on Chiwempala time. We use Chiwempala time around here. Here in Calgary, it's about 13:23, and this is my lunch hour window. And instead of eating, I'm here. Instead ya kwaba tenderi ya lunch nderanda na imwe. And so and so thank you. Kindly spread the word around because we have a very good window, very nice window that we want to chat with you as usual on things that are happening in Zambia. I am with my co-host, my usual co-host, Mr. Norman Chipakupaku, also known as General. But I am also with our resident pharmacist, and his name is Mr. Jerome Kanika. You know him very well. And so we just want to address a few things regarding safety, how we can keep ourselves safe. We also want to discuss a little bit about the new guidelines that were signed today and announced by the Secretary to the Cabinet. And so those are some of the things that we want to talk about today. We need to deal with some of those. Okay. So thank you very much for joining. Please spread the word around, and then I'm going to bring the guests back on this. Let's see. The song that we've been playing for the past few days is Deborah's song. Who knew that Deborah's song is likely to be, is going to be the one that it's really going to be the theme, the theme for us. It talks about unity, and so that is a good thing about it. It talks about unity, and we think that it's a very good song for our time. And it explains very well where we are at. Okay. Without further ado, I'm going to bring Mr. Jerome Kanika. Mr. Kanika, welcome. And I'm also going to bring my co-host, Mr. Norman Chipakupaku, on. We are on. Now, General, we need you to be a little straight on.
Yeah,
right.
Good evening. I'm just working out. I'm working out my system here. The camera seems not to be right. Okay. I will do my best. Good evening, viewers, and I hope you're all well.
Right. Yeah. We are all very well, I think. And so we are going to wait for you as you do that. Mr. Kanika, how are you?
Fine, good evening, Council. And it's like there's a feedback coming. I don't know if it's your mic or so. I don't know. There's a feedback in terms of sound.
So is it the echo or it's like some noise?
I think it's like echo.
All right. Mr. Chipakupaku, how is it that side?
I am getting a bit of an echo as well, Munshya. I don't know what it is, but it's a echo, and it's like a slight delay, just as delay.
All right, and so I think delays are normal under the circumstances. Yep. Delays, so a little seconds delay. We've been lucky that we've not had a huge delay issues, but a little delay is okay. But is the echo still there?
I think let's proceed, Munshya. Let's proceed.
All right. Okay. We're going to proceed now. We are not likely to take a long time here because we need to get back to work. But we have just seen the new guidelines, the new COVID guidelines in Zambia. But before we do that, we need to recognize that we are in a huge crisis in Zambia right now as things stand regarding COVID. And so it's a mix here because there is a lot that we can say about how this government is handling this issue, and I want to go at them, you know. But at the same time, I want to recognize the many lives so far that have been lost. I understand within the last 24 hours we lost, is it 30 or 40?
48.
So losing 48 people to COVID in the last 24 hours means this is an emergency. This is a crisis.
Munshya, before we even go to COVID, I think we, as Zambians, we should also recognize that we've just lost 18 people in an accident in Mungwi tonight.
Right.
Besides the COVID cases, we have people in families who are mourning their loved ones tonight in an accident close to, near Mungwi.
Right.
So I think we have to recognize that is a terrible accident, and really don't know what has happened. But our families, our friends and families are mourning tonight. And and then yesterday, we thought those restrictions had been withdrawn. The same document which was withdrawn yesterday has come through. Munshya, can you center your camera as well? It looks like you are halfway cut. I don't know what's happening today. Our system is not working today. You are halfway cut. We are only seeing your ear. So there must be something not right with your camera as well.
No, I can see myself now. Mr. Kanika, can you see me?
Yes, I can see you.
And our viewers,
I hope your viewers can.
Yeah, maybe it was the Mr. Norman Chipakupaku's phone, so he would dial back. Now, Mr. Kanika, what Mr. Chipakupaku is saying is that we lost 18 lives today in an accident in Mungwi, which is in the northern province near Kasama, and so we recognize that. I think you are better now, General.
Looks
so you
better.
Can see me, right? You are seeing
better now. I think it was my camera playing games here. It's fine now.
All right. So you were saying something about the lives that we've lost in Mungwi.
Yes, I was saying that we've lost 18 people in Mungwi, which was an accident. I don't know. I really don't know what happened, but the issue is that we've lost 18 Zambians tonight, and these families are mourning their loved ones. One good news is here is that the DMMU has agreed that that is an emergency, so they are going to support the families, which is very, very good. But I was also saying yesterday the document leaked about the restrictions, and finally the Secretary of Cabinet read almost the same document. So I think it's up to our colleague who's on the ground to tell us exactly what are the restrictions. I know the bars are only going to be opened on Friday to Sunday. Am I right? And I think it's crazy. It's madness. For me, I thought the bars should be closed. And I don't know what you think, Jeremy.
Okay. Yes, the document was leaked yesterday, and it was making rounds in different WhatsApp groups. And me, I came across over it, and they denied it on ZNBC. But today we have seen almost the same things that was written in that document, including the numbers which they were reporting for Monday, and they are the one which today were reported. But
Right.
what's happening here now is besides those guidelines which were made by the Secretary to Cabinet, there is also an issue of where the Ministry of Health have suspended the outpatient services to big hospitals like Levi Manwasa University Teaching Hospital. They have suspended the the outpatient services to the
Right.
members of the public, and just allowing only those who are being admitted. But again, that's a big problem, seeing the way our health sector is in Zambia and how it has been structured. I
Right.
think it's something that will be so bad, and a big mistake in terms of the government going in that, seeing that the
Right.
number of COVID cases are going up on a daily basis, and we need to open up as many places as possible for us to detect the COVID patient as soon as possible. And like us chasing people away, then we write a statement and complain to say, all who are coming to the hospital are coming almost on the late stage of their condition for COVID. We're on the other side, we are chasing people to say, don't come. We have closed for outpatient services in our big hospitals. So that's the challenge which is there. The situation of COVID now, it's bad, it's everywhere, and you can't know who has and who doesn't have. And the good part with at least the guidelines that have been put in place today, they have at least tried to curb the spread of COVID-19 from the indoor activities as compared to all these other measures that were being put. Today's measures at least have put in place to curb the COVID-19. And if we follow these measures strictly, we are likely to win this battle for COVID-19. Besides that,
Okay.
there's also a funny party for me, which I can say it's a funny party or a funny statement that has been included in that circular, where they have said that we have 700 patients on COVID who are admitted, and the entire country, all the health facilities are full to capacity with only 700 cases. I think that should be a joke. And when you check very well, this current government has been boasting of building hospitals and all that. Now, if they have built hospitals and if they have equipped hospitals with the bed spaces and the others, why should a country be just have 700 cases of COVID? You start complaining that we are up to full capacity. I think
Now, when you say that, Mr. Kanika, what you are saying is that 700 hospitalizations and our beds are full to capacity.
yes, that is
So,
something like a serious joke. Hello, are you getting
Jeremy,
me?
is
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
the capacity? Sorry. Go ahead, Jeremy.
yeah. So the issue which according to the statement which we saw today, they are saying that we have about 700 capacity in terms of the country, in terms of admission for COVID, for bed spaces, and it's up to full capacity. But look, this is a country of 17 million people. You can't have the country to be to full capacity with only 700 cases of COVID-19. I think that's not being serious as a country, and it does not indicate the seriousness in the investment in terms of the health sector. Because imagine 17 million against 700 bed spaces. That's like now serious job concerning the money even that we budget on a yearly basis concerning the Ministry of Health, and also the boasting that has been going around in the patriotic front concerning, no, we have worked this in the health sector, we have built this hospital, we have built this, we have built this. But look what is happening. Only 700 you are saying the country is up to full capacity. That's something unacceptable and should be condemned by every well-meaning Zambian to say we need to be taken seriously in terms of once these things happen, unlike taking us for granted to say 700 we are full to capacity. What if we have 3 million cases of COVID-19? What will happen? So these are some of the issues that we need to be looking into.
Okay, so just we are clear. We are right now sitting on a very serious COVID situation. That is agreed. 700 hospitalizations and we are up to full capacity. That is unacceptable. We received some funding in the past, COVID funding. I think it was stolen. But more than just that, if you would allow me, General, I think Naranda Mchibemba. Ndande kwa Mchibemba?
Go ahead, Munshya. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ngatwalanda ubwafya. Mwamwana muletu sontemino okwebati twalitemu okulandalanda. Nomba ndefo kumipera kufechirangiriro chimo mwebekara chano. Right now we are faced with this crisis. And the question that we are asking is, where is the president and where is Mrs. Winner? The very serious statement that was read today was read by the Secretary to Cabinet. The Secretary to Cabinet does not have networks of minds, does not have what we call the pulpit. By the pulpit, what we mean is that's not where all the media in Zambia is targeted. There are some radio stations that may never even run the Secretary to the Cabinet statements. But when a president or a vice president speaks, the entire nation listens. Even when you were trying to be busy at Ubeko Bizo Chiteko Tuntunga, Omfuatikateka Leranda, Washa, Watende Kama Tukuisa, Kufiarenda Kateka na vice president. Now, here we are with a very serious crisis that we have. And what we are seeing are just Facebook messages from the president, and that's it. Nogutumako, Secretary to Cabinet, to come and read this very serious statement. Who is going to follow these restrictions when they're just coming from the Secretary to Cabinet? There will be no one. President Lungu, after the dizziness episode, he told us that he has some powers of his own. But what we are seeing here is not the seriousness that is required of him to speak to the people of Zambia, to mourn with the families that are right now mourning the deaths of COVID-19. And neither is Mrs. Winner. And so how can we think that this government is serious about COVID-19, about the crisis that we are facing, when Mrs. Winner and President Lungu, they are missing in action, with this crisis that we have at the moment? Tatule ipushe fintu feel very complicated. Gachaputira ba mayoba na Winner na ba Lungu ba feel wokuteka ba naka. Let them just put in their resignations so that they start governing as soon as possible. Because you are going to endanger more lives. We don't want to be listening to the Secretary to Cabinet telling us all these things that are important for our health. The Secretary to the Cabinet has no what we call political accountability. No political accountability for technocrats in our country. No political accountability for the army or the police. There is political accountability for the political leaders that we have elected. And those are the ones we need. The kind of crisis that we are faced with right now. And so, even before I discuss this document, nachirafu afyoku yirisha nyako. Eicho kanshi mailo nangu masoshi. Kabie ni musende ba Winner konsoko bali. Natu ishwati ba lungulimbi bachiri dizi. Nomba ba Winner tumfira tibati fyo bwino. So kanchi imwe ba Winner konsoko muli tuamulomba mayo. Kabie ni kuzete NBC. mulondolwele ekyalo what is happening. It's not enough ukobati this thing is read by the secretary to cabinet. Mupitulukemo, what are the expectations that you require of our people? Muloshe na abantu, just one word, ukobati muleloshe na abantu abafuire abatushire. Tonight we've received reports of several households. Abakobati barangati kwalisa abantu mutandala nababekatana COVID. Umbyatalia mukutandalira abafyashi babo babekatana COVID. There are so many homes in Zambia right now that are struggling with this. Number bawina balikwi. General Chipakupaku.
Yeah, I'm really saddened. You know, it looks like we are.
Okay, the president probably is still dizzy. Okay, but where is Mrs. Winner? You tell me. To me, we are an aircraft which is on flight, but it has no pilot. Complete no pilot, no co-pilot, no navigation. We're just, and we don't know what's going to happen. These guys knew that the third wave was coming. These people knew, the president and the vice president knew that this is winter. This is winter. And winter, this is the time when this stuff gets transmitted. And these measures they're putting now are too late. Too late. Because if we get 1,000 infections and we can't handle 700 bed spaces, where are these hospitals, the 350 hospitals they've been building? So if we get an infection of 500,000, if 1 million, then we are expecting a disaster in our country. And my biggest worry is that we risk having an election on the 12th of August if we do have it with everywhere. That's terrible to say, but that is very, very possible. First of all, there are no vaccines. Secondly, we don't have enough oxygen. Thirdly, we don't have enough bed space. And nurses were struggling for months. And that is a recipe for disaster, as far as I'm concerned. And if Mr. President can decide to keep quiet, I know he's dizzy, problem. I know he might still be dizzy. If he take this time to face the nation and say, countrymen, this is the situation, and I think this is what to do. Let's get help. Why can't the president sign on this? General, your connection is quite bad. Your connection is quite bad.
Well, my connection is very bad. If it's very bad, it's sad because I thought it was loud and clear. So are you able to hear me now?
Yes. So you were breaking. We still got what you were saying, and I just wanted to alert you of that. Yeah. I think they anticipated it. They should have anticipated it. But it's one thing to face a crisis, but leadership matters. This is what we are telling the people of Zambia. Leadership does matter when a nation is facing a crisis. Just yesterday in South Africa, they're facing the resurgence of the cases. Their president went and spoke to the people of South Africa. He addressed them. He told them what was going on. It was a very boring speech because Ramaphosa is not a very good public speaker. We are not looking for a very good orator. All we are looking is for somebody, vice president or president, to explain to the people of Zambia what is going on, and to tell them about these guidelines. This is what we will do. This is what we will do. This is what we will do. We do not have that at the moment, and it's very sad, extremely sad. But you see, it's never too late. It's never too late. We are asking Bamaeva Wina Tbachibakukagwerero, Bwereleni Kulusaka, go to ZNBC, call the secretary to cabinet, let him give you the speech and the recommendations that they've given you. Read a statement to the people of Zambia so that we It's never too late. Once the media hear it from you, every citizen in our country, they'll begin following the guidelines. They are not listening to secretary to cabinet because nobody knows the secretary to cabinet. Who is the secretary to cabinet, by the way? So Abena Milenga, radio stations in Milenga are not going to play secretary to cabinet. Who is secretary? Who elected secretary? Who have voted Simon meeting now? Even in the speech itself, that I have done this, I have done this, I have done this. We want President Lungu or Vice President Winner to show up and do their job.
Yeah.
Wow. Go ahead, Jeremy. Go ahead. It's sad. Go ahead, Jeremy.
You see, the health sector has been in a serious mess for a longer period of time. Actually, just that people wanted to cover it up, but we are being exposed on a daily basis in terms of our health sector. When you check very well, you discover that maternal mortality has risen at the rate at which maternal mortality we're having. It's higher than any other year you even think of. When you check again, when you check the issue of especially the maternal mortality rate, if it start going up, it tells you to say that whatever you are doing in the Ministry of Health, stop is rubbish. Can you change and think on what you should do? Once the maternal mortality start going up, that's like a universal or a serious benchmark to know what you are doing concerning Ministry of Health. Now, in that situation where we are having maternal mortality going up, then we have this pandemic, which has come to eat us badly, and we are now being exposed further. Currently, we don't have the medication that we need to give the people once they are being admitted. But we are admitting people just to put them on oxygen. Other medication we are telling them to buy by themselves. Well, on the other hand, they pay for medical insurance scheme that has not even yielded anything to any Zambian. So these are some of the real issues the people of Zambia are facing. These are serious matters the people of Zambia are facing. When you check, people are contributing to NEMA on a monthly basis, and the NEMA gets that money, goes and builds offices in the midst of the pandemic. Who thinks like that? How can you go build an office at the expense of the commodities, the drugs that people want in the hospitals? You go build the house? That's something unacceptable. Then thinking again on the other hand, we had to put in the budget for 2021. There was some money that we budgeted for to cater for vaccines, for us to procure our own vaccines. But look now what is happening. We are only waiting for the donation from other countries. Where is the money that we budgeted for in the 2021 budget for vaccines for COVID? It was there. When you check the budget, when you go back to what the former Minister for Finance, when he was presenting the budget in 2020, September, you see that indicated that we are increasing the funding for drugs to 1.4 billion kwacha because some money will use it to procure the vaccines once they are made available. And that was in September before the vaccines were made available. Now the vaccines have been made available. We are just waiting for donations. Where's the money that we are supposed to use to have these vaccines available? Not only that, vaccines are not available. Even the essential medicines are not available in our hospitals. So this is the challenge that we are at. These are the issues.
Right. So now that is the long term. Now we are in this emergency. What shall we do? The government is listening. Permanent secretaries are listening. What should we do?
Yeah, Munshya, hello, are you getting me?
Yes. General, you were saying something and your line is quite bad.
Okay, I was saying,
Okay.
Munshya,
What?
this is an emergency. This is the time Zambian president, the vice president, to go and appeal for an emergency. This is now an emergency. It's more urgent than his state of emergency, which is political state of emergency. This is now a health emergency.
Right.
He should appeal. Are you able to hear me, Munshya?
Yes, we can hear you. You say that this is an emergency. Yes, we're hearing.
Yeah, he should appeal for urgent funding. If I hope they won't steal that money again. This is an emergency, and the president must appeal for us to get enough medication, oxygen, and expand. Make sure that we've got enough hospitals, enough beds. Because if we get 500,000 people infected, which is possible in Lusaka and the Copper Belt, we have only got 700 beds.
Right.
So we say he must go up now and appeal for an emergency assistance, not his political emergency was trying to do.
Okay. So I get it. The first thing that he needs to do, and if he can't do because he's still dizzy, he can ask the vice president, who is still sharing executive powers and executive functions at the moment, to declare an emergency, a health emergency. So this is not a security emergency, it's a health emergency, and appeal for international help. What General Chipakupaku is saying is, when you do that, you make sure that there is very good accountability. It's very emergent basis. For example, oxygen can be delivered into Lusaka from various cooperating partners. We need the president to spearhead such a move, and the vice president. Ask cooperating nations. Most of the Western countries, even if some COVID numbers are going up, they're getting into summer, so they don't have the emergency that the global south is having. So what can happen is these countries can try to send some oxygen tanks into Lusaka so that they can help our people that are going to be hospitalized. Secondly, they can ask for emergency basis vaccines. They can help out. South Africa has a factory, General. South Africa has a factory. Did you know that, Mr. Kanika, that South Africa has a factory that manufactures vaccines?
Yes, I remember I've been following up, especially in terms of the vaccine development since the time it came. And yes, South Africa, they have the factory now where they are making the vaccines, and that will make it easier for that country actually to have each citizen many of its citizens be vaccinated within a short period of time. But besides that, as much as you have mentioned that first thing is first, we need the president to address us, the citizens, and give us.
Go ahead, Jeremy. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think
the line.
I think we have
the line
issue.
From
Hello, are you getting me?
Yeah. Yes, we are.
Yeah, it's like I'm having some breaking here.
Okay, over to you. I think this is the record we're making. I think this is the recommendation we're making, that he has to declare a healthy emergency to try and get procure oxygen, PPEs, and make sure that we get resources we have now to try and create more space, bed space, and also to make sure that we have a relief for the medical staff, because these people have been working for a year continuously. Some of them, we need to relieve them. They must be paid enough so that we can incentivize them to go back and work. This is not the time to be fighting. This is not the time to be fighting the medical. This is the time to be fighting the medical staff, because these people have been working for a year continuously. Some of them, we need to relieve them. They must be paid enough so that we can incentivize them to go back and work. This is not the time to be fighting. This is not the time to be fighting the medical Association of Zambia. Not the time to be fighting Dr. Brian. Time to bring all the resources together, Mr. President.
Right.
And make sure that we prioritize the lives of our people.
Right. So as far as South Africa is concerned, South Africa are our friends. So all we need is to make a phone call to the ANC people and tell them, as you are manufacturing vaccines in your country, make sure that you have something extra for Zambia. You know, they can do that. So there is certainly some things that can be done right now to see that we address this issue on an emergency basis. So to the team at State House, please speak to our president. Let him know that we are in an emergency situation. Let him declare a health emergency and begin appealing for help from international partners, for oxygen tanks, for bed spaces, and for vaccines, because our number has gone far much higher than other African countries. We are in a crisis right now. I hope you're going to listen and try to help out. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing, General. The second thing. You wanted to say something?
I wanted to say something, Munshya. That is the action the Zambian president should. But I am now appealing to the Zambians, the ordinary Zambian. COVID is real. Stop covering up when we're in public places. We stop. You know, you can put on mask using a cloth. You've got a lot of chitenges. Help yourselves. Do not go into a crowded market. Do not go into a crowded bus. Help yourselves, Zambians. Do not go into the shopping markets, shopping malls without a mask. You are going to help spread this whole thing. Don't take this thing as a joke. It's serious. The president can only do certain things, but you individuals, each family, take the right action. Do not allow your wife, your children to go in public without a mask. This is not a joke.
Right. Okay.
So I've already appealed to my family that if you've got any chance of buying masks, buy masks, especially for those who have got underlying issues in the family. Let's protect them. So don't be sensible, Zambians. The markets are still crowded. The supermarkets are still crowded. It's not being sensible.
All right, and General, these are measures that you see happening at least maybe 2 to 3 weeks, right?
Yeah. Well, these are the measures which the government can take. It will take 2 weeks, 1 week or 2 weeks for the medicines to come. But what I'm appealing to Zambia now is take measures now. Avoid crowded places. Avoid masks. If you are a marketeer, make sure that you wear a mask. You are selling your people, insist on a mask. If you are going to a bus, driver of the bus, tell these people to wear a mask. If you can't buy a mask, make your own masks from cloth. I have got masks here, Munshya. I have got masks here. I make sure that when I go to the supermarket, I carry my masks. So this is not a joke. Our people must take this as a serious issue. Their lives cannot be saved by President Lungu or Mrs. Winner. They can save their own lives, the lives of their own families. Take this COVID thing seriously. Yes, I mean, Zambia, do not go to the markets without a mask. Do not go to markets with a mask. This is not a joke.
Okay. Now, General, we must deal with a very difficult topic. Parties and their campaigns. Our beloved vice president candidate has gone to Chipata today and there was a crowd around her car. How are we going to deal with that?
It's terrible. Luo was in Eastern Province and I didn't see any police people around her. Madam Nalumango lands at the airport. There was a squad of policemen even refusing people to welcome Mrs. Nalumango, Felix Mtati. What was that all about?
All right.
The airport,
Now,
up to Chipata town, there were policemen everywhere.
Now, if we are going to agree that we must reduce crowds, how are you looking at how this is applying for political parties? I know for sure that the Patriotic Front is the biggest crowd culprit.
No, even us at UPND, I was sending messages to our leaders today. The youth leader, the women's leader is in the north. Let's take this COVID thing seriously. Take masks with you. Even in the Eastern Province, where our vice president is, I'm appealing to Johabi Mutonga, I'm appealing to Lyson Nyirenda, wherever you're president, insist our people should have masks. Get a chitenge, make your own masks. Because if we don't do it, we are going to be spreading this. I'm not saying Mrs. Nalumango is saying that. I'm saying there are chances that we can be spreading this through these rallies. There were so many people welcoming her, but I didn't see a lot of them with masks, which is not right. Which is not wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
But my only worry, why was the police trying to harass her? Why was the police trying to harass the people in Chipata? What for? Was it that necessary?
Right. Okay. I've seen several rallies that are being held, particularly on the Copper Belt. Christopher Kangombe. Now, I need to mention this because I saw it. Christopher Kangombe in Kitwe in Kamfinsa is holding rallies. Christopher Kangombe is supposed to be one of the most informed young men, and holding rallies when there is an emergency like this endangers the lives of people. This is unacceptable to do foolish things that endanger the lives of our people. It cannot be excused. We cannot excuse this kind of behavior, particularly from a very well-informed young man like Christopher Kangombe. Going from door to door, maskless, a crowd. That is completely unacceptable.
It's not acceptable.
Completely unacceptable, right? Because if you are endangering lives like that, what message are you sending? When you are a leader, you have a pulpit. People are listening to you. You have a podium. People are watching you. And if they see that you're not serious with guidelines, they're going to flout their own guidelines, which is pretty ridiculous. And so we see that there is another campaigner, a tribalist campaigner who is going all over and holding rallies and spreading COVID-19. This is very concerning, and we disapprove of this, completely disapprove of it. Okay.
I'm glad that the tribalist campaign, people were running away from him in Mpika this morning, which is very good. So there were no crowds in Mpika. They were running away from GBM and Umuniwachisushi in Mpika. People didn't want to see him, which is very, very good. Which means they were not spreading the tribalism. They were not spreading Ifisushi. They were also not spreading in Mpika. So the people of Mpika refused to attend to M's rallies this morning. But to all the political parties, whether MMD, whether PF, whether the Democratic Party, Vanel, we are in a healthy sensible. That's what I can say. Let's be sensible. Because if we're not careful, we are going to lose lives in a matter of days. Because the window is only 14 days. Am I right, Jeremy? 14 days window. In the next 10 days, we can be having a serious problem. Over to you, Munshya.
Did you hear that, Jerome? Jerome? Jerome is not getting us. Jerome, are you getting?
He is not. He's not getting us. He's not getting us. So,
Yeah,
so
Jerome is
if
not
you're not able to,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So
the measures that have been
bill.
taken. Yeah. The first measure
Go ahead.
is that there's going
Hello,
to be.
are you getting me?
Yes, we can get you now.
Hello? Yeah,
Yeah.
like I'm having some internet problem here, and
I think that's fine, Jeremy. Let's
are you getting
sum one up, Munshya, because he has got a technical problem. He has got internet problems tonight, so we might end up spending a lot of time waiting. So,
Okay,
Jeremy,
all right.
We heard you. You've got a problem.
Right. Okay. So here are the measures. Number one is they are saying that they're just going to heighten the measures that are currently in place. So, like what you were saying, General, masking up, social distancing, ensuring that people on the buses have access to masks, to washing of hands, and to sanitizing. Number two is talking about fumigation and disinfection. I think this is a useless measure. Fumigation.
Useless.
Yeah, and that's the false comfort that they are getting, right? To say that they've closed this office to fumigate. COVID-19 is not about fumigation. It's not like malaria, because as soon as you fumigate the place, if an infected person goes there and spreads the virus, then it's active again. So fumigation is a waste of time and a waste of money.
Munshya, what I suspect is that these guys in the Ministry of Health want to make money by fumigating. Some people be going around fumigating, so they should not waste money on that. They should just spend on masks.
Right.
On masks.
Yeah. Number three, they are restricting public and social gatherings. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And in fact, ECZ is also trying to help out with political players. But ECZ, the party in power, always has a bigger burden. Here, we are not trying to say that, no, the UPND does not have the burden. But the party in power, the president's party, has a bigger burden because it has a bigger pulpit. It has a bigger podium. It has a bigger responsibility. So we want more so for the Patriotic Front to be the leader in these things, to stop all these unnecessary gatherings and everything like that. So that's the third one. The fourth one, mandatory masking. General, you spoke about mandatory masking. I think everyone is adhering to that. And then the good thing with masking is you can still talk.
Yeah. There's no problem. There's no problem. I can hear you. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You
So mandatory, and then religious institutions to suspend for 1 month or use virtual platforms. I think this is a good one. Churches to suspend activities for 1 month.
Yeah, and I think it's very bad for Bishop because money for his big car, which is very because no money for the painters. I'm happy with that. I know for Bishop Banda it will be very bad because that's what makes him have bigger shoes and shiny shoes. So there will be no money for 1 month, Bishop Banda. Thank you. Go ahead. Go ahead. What is the next one?
We have an emergency today. I'm going to come back to that. Then heightened communication strategies. That's why we are doing this, and we are using this platform on TV Bakwetu to educate our people about these things. So that's the 7th. 7, universities and colleges will only conduct online classes. Yeah, that's a very reasonable thing to do, isn't it, Brother Frank Saliki?
It is a very, very reasonable thing to do. So I work in the National Health Service, and there's something that a lot of people in Zambia need to know. So as Black people, we are more at risk of getting COVID and dying from COVID than any other race. So when the pandemic started, I had to do a risk assessment in work to ensure that the workplace was safe for me and for all the BEM employees that were employed in the National Health Service. They had to ensure that the place was safe for them to work. So, so when we think about the people in Zambia and the population, obviously, that we have, predominantly Black people, we have to understand that we are the most at-risk population. So that's why, as a country, they have to take it really seriously.
Anyway, so it appears like the statement I was reading from is the statement that they refused. Gosh, there is so much confusion in Zambia, you can't believe it. So, General, the statement I'm reading is not the statement that is currently in the measures. So maybe they made one statement, they redrafted it, and then whatever they announced was something else. So actually, churches are meeting.
The churches are meeting for 1 hour, not maximum 1 hour. And the schools have to be online. My problem is that the communications, the internet is very bad. How can students learn? They will just miss another 1 year. And I've no action is the markets. If the markets are still going to remain open, Soweto market is still going to remain open, we are just going to continue with the transmission. If the supermarkets, you follow certain procedures. You hand sanitize yourself. You got a mask. If you don't have a mask, you're not going in the shop. And you can follow one fix anyhow. I don't think the shop right is doing that. And as long as the markets are still open, the buses are still running full, we are going to continue having these problems. The bars are still full. It's just we're heading for a disaster, man.
Why didn't they just close bars? Like close them, you know? Not this saying. No, they say that bars will be open on weekends.
Oh, yes, they should close the casinos. I know somebody's got casinos, so he doesn't want them closed, but close them.
Right, okay. We've got to go now. This has been a public health discussion. We'll be back again.
It's an emergency. Zambians, use your masks. Zambians, do supermarket, crowded supermarket. Don't go to the markets. The marketeers wear your masks and insist that your customers must wear their masks. Otherwise, we'll have the whole country dead.
Right.
And one thing that's very important is social distancing, because at the most, masks don't stop you from getting COVID, but they prevent you from spreading it to other people. So it's about wearing the mask and also ensuring that there's enough social distancing for everybody to operate in.
Can you explain what social distancing means?
So social distancing is what. So in the UK, I think it was in Zambia a few months ago. I think people were advised to be 1 meter apart, and in the UK it was 2 meters apart. So wherever we were. So even when we're in the offices, so we were even in the office, even up to now, even though the UK COVID numbers were falling, even up to now, we're working 2 meters apart. Wherever you go, whether it's in the supermarket, whether it's on the bus, there has to be two meters apart. So you can't have a full bus. You can't have a full bus, and the bus has to have windows open. The bus providers are not allowed to close windows. There has to be enough ventilation. So science has proved that without enough ventilation, it's easy for the virus to spread. But if there's enough air coming in the room and out, then that makes it difficult for the virus to be spread around.
Okay.
And then
so Clara,
this is winter, Munshya.
Yeah, Clara. Yeah.
This is winter now. people's and the chances of infection indoors is higher. So if you can be outside, it's better, but it's cold now. That's why the infections, if you're going to the hotels, you're going to the bars, the chances of getting an infection indoors are higher.
All right. Okay, we're going to end here. Thank you very much for joining us on TV Bakwetu. We were talking about the new guidelines, COVID guidelines back home in Zambia. We wish our country all the best, and we hope that the two political leaders are going to show up and speak to the people about what we can do. We've got to sign off now, General. Thank you.
Good night from Scotland. Please keep safe.
Right. Brother Frank.
And good night from Gloucester, England. Keep safe. Remember social distancing. Remember, don't have.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. God bless you and good night. And God bless our country.